What is going on out there, peeps? All right, we're going to talk a little gold and a little dinar. These are beautiful coins, by the way. They're pandas. I got a few of them. They're gorgeous. Anyways, let's talk about both of them. I got an article. It's a couple years old, but even so, it really applies to what's going on today, and I like it, and I'm gonna share it with you. Speaking of gold, you should be thinking about buying some gold and silver. Yeah, I saw the prices drop today, but just look at it as it's on sale. Okay. Anyways, if you're thinking about buying precious metals, go check out our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer in Puerto Rico or the United States and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free ½ ounce of silver. You guys know about my other platform, Pimpy's News Network. The link's down below in the description. Again, once you guys sign up, down below are these icons for categories. Don't go that route. Go up here where it says videos, click it, and you'll have access to all the videos. You can see what's there. I posted a lot of videos last night, very informative ones I think you'll enjoy. Go out there and send some, go show some report. Let's try this again. Go show some support for our friends over there at Wall Street Silver. I have a link for both their YouTube channels as well as their Reddit page. And I get stuck sometimes when I go over to the Reddit page because the pictures of the silver, man, some people got some pretty large collections of silver. They've obviously been stacking for a while, right? You guys make sure don't fall for the fraudsters. Know that when I post something, there is a gray or black circle around my name. If it doesn't have it, it ain't me. So we're going to cover the dinar first, some of the news on what's going on. So it looks like the agreement between Baghdad and Erbil is finally reached, and that's including all outstanding issues. We talked about this last night. Good. So now they're saying that everything is done. So what is left? That's the big question. So the visit made by the delegation of the Kurdistan region headed by Talabani to Baghdad led to reaching final understandings and developing radical solutions to the outstanding issues for years. The understandings are not only limited to the budget items, but also include the energy files, the Oversight Bureau, and the obligation arising from the Kurdistan region, noting that these understandings will turn the page on the differences that we witness with each year in the budget law. Good. They're getting along. This is great news. This continues. Look, I told you, outside of waiting for some type of RV or RI announcement, there's other things we should be looking for. The dollar is still declining against the dinar. This is good. It's not like a lot, but it's still good. It's going in the right direction. So the other day it was that you could get, 1,490 dinars for $1. It is now dropped down to 1,485 dinars per dollar. Now I get it. Some people would bash it, but you don't get it. It's going in the correct direction. That's the direct. I don't care if it goes like this in increments and it just chugs right along every week. I'll take it. Seriously. At least it's going in the right direction, and it's all that matters. Here it is talking about it again. So you can see what the market was doing. So again, you were getting 1,490 dinars for $1, but now you get 1,485. Keep in mind, though, that they did set the rate in the beginning at 1,450. So we're still a little bit in the wrong direction, but we are gaining ground and heading in the right direction. And they have been taking the necessary steps to make sure that it stays that way. The government clarifies its date for the tripartite Baghdad summit. So this is the three countries, Iraq, Jordan, and Egypt. Remember last year they met basically to get together, talk about how they could do trade, how they could work with one another, providing security, providing trading, providing trade, business, the whole 9 yards. That's what they're continuing to do. The last meeting worked out very well. So let's hope this continues. Again, it's positive news. This helps with Iraq's economy, as well as the other Arab nations involved. So the presidency of the Republic of Iraq corrects the financial budget for the year 2021. Well, what did he do? Let's find out. The Ministry of Justice announced on Thursday the issuance of a new issue of the newspaper, which included a number of statements approved by the President of the Republic. Director General of the Fact Department said in a statement received by the news that the number included the issuance of the correction statement issued by the President. Good. The official did not refer to the corrected articles or paragraphs in the budget. The Iraq Parliament voted in early April on the federal budget for the year 2021 with a deficit of more than 28 trillion dinars. And the tension and attraction continued for months, although its ratification was later than the legal date. So they're finally getting this thing ironed out. It says the revenues of the general budget amounted to more than 101 trillion Iraqi dinars, while expenditures were estimated to be at 129, looking at about a $28 trillion, obviously, deficit. The price of the barrel of oil was calculated at $45 instead of the Iraqi dinar, and the government proposed prices for the dollar was fixed at 1,450 dinars. That actually almost didn't make no sense. But the point being, we know that the value of the oil increased, giving them a surplus, which is good. Parliament did vote on Kurdistan's share, which they will get 12.67 trillion dinars of the general budget. The passage of the 2020 budget, of course, didn't quite make it. So it doesn't quite say what the changes are in here, does it? The Democratic Party, the Baghdad and the region agreement. Okay, so that's, again, Kurdistan and Baghdad agreeing. Okay, so that is the news so far. So again, these are good news. The agreement is taken care of. Good, back to normal business. The dinar is finally heading in the right direction. It's doing it in little increments, but that's okay. We'll take it. Countries are meeting with each other to talk shop, trade, security, all positive. Now let's get into the fun stuff. This article's probably about a few years old, about 3 maybe. Anyways, it touches on the very things I was talking about. Look at the dollar's coming home to die, dumped by the world. This chart shows you which countries stop using the US dollar and convert it to just using their own country's currencies. So that's what they're doing in trade. So think about supply and demand on the US dollar. The less countries that need it, the value of the currency drops. Its purchasing power drops. Why is that important? Well, what did I say? If the dollar weakens against other currencies, well then, of course, one of those currencies would be the Iraqi dinar. Depending on how they're doing, as long as the US dollar goes in the wrong direction, the Iraqi dinar gain that difference. Also, as countries around the world use less and less of US dollars, that of course affects the gold market. Again, a weaker dollar makes a stronger gold. They said with the war in the gold and silver markets continuing to rage, today I had a 50-year market veteran discuss what's next after massive shorting by commercial hedges and bullion banks. It's John Embry is who they're talking about. He says, I can't say that I'm terribly surprised by what is happening to the gold and silver prices this week, given the remarkable build in the open interest on the comics and the staggering level of commercial bullion banks short positions. That continued, obviously, but now they're exposed with Basel III coming up. This is Shanghai shocked April 19th back in 2016 when the yuan-based gold standard, BP oil spill, the deadliest HempWorx may kill millions of millions of U.S. citizens. U.S. strategy: petroleum reserves stored in collapsing salt dunes on the coast of Louisiana. That's all bad. Say Cliff High's web bot project has long been predicting that silver and gold will skyrocket higher as the U.S. dollar loses its dominance as the world's reserve currency. And as the once formidable dollar ultimately begins to hyperinflate, which it's doing now, as nations lose all confidence in the U.S. reserve note, the Webbot predict triple-digit silver prices and eventually a 1-to-1 silver-to-gold ratio in coming years. This is what I said. It was just my opinion that eventually you would see the value of silver pass up gold because there's more demand for it and there's not that much silver out there. Silver has more commercial uses, second only to petroleum. So, will it really happen? No one can say for certainty, but there are very concrete signs that the cracks in the Western banking system and fiat dollar are about to turn into a gaping faucers. Meanwhile, China is hoarding. China is hoarding physical silver at the Shanghai Gold Exchange and openly encouraging citizens to acquire physical silver and gold as a way to protect their wealth. See, isn't that nice of their government? Does our government tell us that? No, they screw us. So China's telling its citizens, hey, stock up, man. The doo-doo's about to hit the fan. In a paradigm shift of epic proportions away from paper dollars and into physical metals, David Morgan from the Morgan Report is here to discuss it all in that report right there. It says, as gold and silver have reversed course this year and are in the early stages of a historic bull run, it was a fact confirmed by the dramatic gains in the HUI index in January. The usual suspects have gone all in to stop the advancement. They're talking about stopping the price of gold and silver from going up, and they went all in. It still went up. So this person is trying to make a comparison to Wizard of Oz and the Lord of the Rings. It's saying that the Wicked Witch of the East represents the Eastern industrial and bankers who control the people, who are the Munchkins. The Scarecrow was the wise but naive Western farmer. The Tin Man stood for the dehumanized industrial worker. The Cowardly Lion is the populist presidential candidate from 1896. The Yellow Brick Road, with all of its dangers, was the gold standard. Dorothy's silver slipper, not the ruby red, the book is silver, represents the populist solution to the nation's economical woes. So see, gold and silver, you guys, always, 6,000 years of recorded history, that is the right move. Gold to preserve your wealth, silver for bartering. Bullion bank shortages, staggering amounts of paper gold. They're still doing it. But look back. So this is just a couple years ago. Look how much has gone up. Actually, it's about a year and a half ago. So if gold and silver had blown through $1,300 and $18 respectively last week, it would have attracted considerable interest and much more buying. To prevent this from happening, the bullion banks have shorted staggering quantities of gold and silver in the last couple of weeks. So I remember when that happened. But look, it still went up. It moved from $1,300 an ounce to around $1,900 for gold, and we've seen it above $2,000. We've seen silver move from $18 on up to about $30. In the most recent COT showed an increase of 50,000 contracts in the commercial gold short position in just 1 week, and this shorting has continued unabated through today. The amount of gold being paper shorted on the comics alone dwarfs the physical production of gold. It still does. How are they going to cover this? You know what they're going to do? Pay the people in that crappy, no good fiat dollar. People don't want the dollars, they want the metals. You guys are way ahead of the curve on this one. To put this in some perspective, the open interest, the paper derivatives fraud in the COMEX has recently gone well above 100,000 counterfeit paper contracts in 6 weeks short period. That's ridiculous, man. That is a Ponzi scheme. That's what this person says. It goes on to explain that this is a Ponzi scheme. 10 million ounces of paper gold, or close to 13 billion of paper notional value, in the industry globally, which produces roughly only 90 million physical ounces a full year. That's crazy. So what Basel III does is it's supposed to remove the bullion bank's ability to manipulate the value of gold and silver, allowing it to do its natural course. That's the rumor. I'm just kidding. That's what it's saying. But you know, how many of us actually believe it? I'm counting on it. There's a part of me that hopes that they do delay it so I can keep on stacking. But having said that, it says I can't think of another market that can withdraw the degree of paper selling to the U.S. comics without buckling under the extreme selling pressure. However, even after repeated attacks, the gold price is still less than 3% off recent highs and keeps bouncing back after each new assault. That's where it is now. So it did move up from 1,300 on up again to above 2,000 briefly, but it's been lingering around the $1,900 mark. So it stays within a margin there. And today it took a little bit of a hit. And we also seen silver take, what was it, damn near $2. In my opinion, this smacks of desperation on the part of the bullion banks. In the world in which Western physical inventories are shrinking at an alarming rate, and paper claims derivatives on them are surging into the stratosphere. Complete fraud against their price charts. So good, there has been a shortage for the last few years on precious metals. This year, I think, was the first time in which commercial demand for silver surpassed industrial demand. So it says, pay attention to Mark Aguirre. We do. You'll hear me play some of his interviews from time to time. It says, recommend that investors, that is Maguire, recommended that investors who want to know the true status of gold inventory in the very important London market pay very close attention to the comments of well-informed Andrew Maguire, who appears regularly on KWN. And if you want to read a brilliant essay by Paul, is that Malcrest? Yep. Which appeared a week ago, reinforcing the shortage in London is the pitiful leverage of inventory at the comics in relations to the paper. So look, they're still stuck in this predicament. That's why a lot of us are anticipating some pretty big jumps on both silver and gold. But I do like what this article is saying. They anticipate silver eventually going 1-to-1 with gold. Remember I was telling you about the gold to silver ratio? We're going to play the game. It says, again, this reiterates, ignore the noise here and acquire as much physical gold and silver as one can while it's still available. I agree. I've been preaching that for the longest time. So there you have it. If the article is a little old, not that old, it's about a year and a half old. And you can see that we're still going through those same issues at the moment. I certainly didn't like the little drop that we saw on metals this morning, but it is what it is. I did tell everybody, don't be surprised if they try to do everything they can to knock it all the way down. And then I said, even if it goes to $1 an ounce for each one of them, don't panic. Buy, buy, buy. $82.50 is a nice little chunk of change for gold. That's how much it's dropped. But if you look over here on silver, it dropped to $1.76. I could not figure out why, and I've been searching for it. Crypto started to make a rebound, but all of a sudden dropped. It's been doing that a lot lately. So, anyways, there you go. There you have it. Again, I can't stress this enough. I hope you are converting some of your savings or retirements into precious metals. You will appreciate it later when the market eventually does crash. And you have gold and silver there to save you. Go over to Money Metals. They'll help you. They're professionals there. They'll help you with the IRA. They'll help you with your 401ks. They've helped a ton of my subscribers, and I'm grateful for that. Anyways, that's it for now, you guys. Let me know what you think. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.